Praise the Lord, everyone. It's Dr. Lesia the Preacha coming at you today with my high school diary entry. This is diary entry number 8. I didn't date this one for some reason back in high school, but it happened sometime September 2000. No, 2000. Sometime September 1986, a long time ago. So let me go ahead and get started. This one is titled Human Development. So based on this title, I'm thinking that this had to be a class. So probably an English class maybe. I don't know, a writing class, who knows, But whoever assigned this, thank you to that teacher who assigned this, because, here I am all these years later sharing it with the world, so to speak. All right, so human development. Let's see what Lesia had to say back then. Normally, a person develops and experiences many stages through their life. Okay. The very first stage is infancy. Infancy includes total dependency on others, crying, continuous changing of diapers. How would I know that? Because I worked at a pharmacy, remember. I didn't do babysitting and change diapers and stuff when I was in middle school and high school. And being fed by bottles and instant baby food in jars. That's so cute. Yeah, this had to be a school assignment for me to even, express it and articulate this way, After infancy, there is toddlers. Toddlers learn to walk, talk, and get into all sorts of trouble. They are really learning and understanding what is going on around them. And that is so true. I'm at my grandkids' house right now. And so if you hear some noise and thumping and crying and doors opening and closing, it's because the grandkids are running around in their house. They are not as dependent on mommy as before. I actually like this stage the best, personally. The toddler stage. When they're big enough to walk, talk, feed themselves, grab their own diaper bag, and things like that. So it helps me out some. And then there's the elementary stages are very unique. The elementary stages are very unique. Okay. They are more aware of themselves and family relations. This makes a lot of sense. By the time you're in elementary school, you do know grandpa, from auntie, from cousin, and things like that. Okay. They are in school learning to exercise their minds and thinking process. Yeah, that makes sense. They are watching their elders to adapt an image of their own. Ooh, now that's deep. Role modeling, I guess, is very important during that stage of life. So remember this when, dealing with your children and grandchildren that are, in elementary school, Watch what you say and do around them. And watch your insides. Start with your inside so that you'll naturally be what's appropriate around elementary school children. The junior high and high school stages are the stages that you watch them the most. Watch them the most. That's true. They are surrounded by peer pressure, exposed to teenage pregnancy, and other life regretting situations. Wow. Wow. Now, in my last video, I said that I would explain how I became a pharmacy technician. Yeah, it was, I had an 8th grade, I believe it was an English assignment, maybe. It was an assignment for one of my 8th grade teachers. We had to interview a professional person. So for me, that would be the pharmacist 2 blocks from my home, in my mind. Everyone else in my life were worked for, like, the automotive company, things like that. But the kind of professional that my teacher was listing off, the only person in my life that had easy access to in 8th grade or, at age like 13 at that time, was the pharmacist down the street. So I went down there and I asked if I could interview him to find out what being a pharmacist is like. So by the time the interview was over, I was offered a job at 13 to work at the pharmacy. That is so silly. I mean, like, wow. And I was too young to be on payroll because you had to be at least 14 to be on payroll. And I think that's still the law today in most places. So I was paid under the table $10 a day. I was paid $10 a day. Just think, now people get paid $10 an hour. Wow. That's a blessing when you look at it like that. So I would go to work, and when I turned 14, I was able to be added to payroll. That was so cute. And I kept that job through high school and through most of undergrad college. Yeah. I went to Ferris State University. So that's how I ended up being a pharmacy technician. And by the time I was 16 years old, I was pretty much running the store. I could work alone with the pharmacist, just he and I. And the other, lead technician, the supervisor, I guess you could say, she could take time off because I could handle it. I was a pretty phenomenal kid when I think about it. When I think back, I loved myself. I did. I was very self-aware. Very self-aware. And I'm still like that today, I think. Well, anyway, thank you for allowing me to share my high school diary with you. And stay tuned because there's so many. And then I know I talk a lot and share my little, 2 cents in between the paragraphs and sentences and things. But that's just to, give you an idea as to how the past the way you thought and felt may not change a whole lot. And sometimes the only way you know and have proof is through journaling. I think it's appropriate throughout your life from time to time, when you get a chance, to journal, so that you can have pinpoints in life and a track record of your thinking, of how you feel, you know. And to this day, I have credentials in early childhood development. I am considered an expert in that field. Isn't that interesting? Ended up being a substitute teacher in my kids' school district when I was raising my kids. And I'm thinking about going back into subbing again. We'll see. I don't know. I've been out for a long time, too. All right, guys. Thank you. And journal. Journal.